Here's a quick guide to Tazavesh hard mode. At the start of the dungeon, equip the amulet that you got to unlock hard mode and turn into a broker, then talk to this gentleman. This will activate hard mode. Next, make your way to the guards at the front of the building. Speaking to this one will allow you straight into the first boss. The first boss will see right through your disguise. The difference between this mode and normal is on this mode you also have to fight the Portal Mancer at the same time as the boss, not before. The other major difference is you only have a small area to fight the boss, as if you go too close to the other guards they will pull and enter the fight, so you have to kind of fight from corner to corner. The best way to do this is to have the tank fight the boss in one corner of the room and have the ranged DPS and healer fight from the other side of the room. This new smaller area to fight the boss does make it harder when someone gets imprisoned, as you have a limited amount of time to break them free before they get killed. Remember to avoid the spinning weapons on the floor, as it does massive damage. When the boss uses impound contraband, remember to look for your weapon and collect it as soon as you can. Sometimes this is difficult as it can be inside a spinning weapon. Lastly, remember not to attack the boss where its shield is up, as it will deflect all incoming attacks. Once you've killed the boss, collect your loot and move on to the next one. The Miser's Oasis hard mode has the second set of ads that spawn change into a rival band. These new ads will fixate on the player that is using their instrument. The guitar player Vilt hits the hardest, so it's a good idea to have your tank use the guitar. Likewise, have your healer play the drums, as the rival for this hips is the weakest and will give your healer the least trouble. Have your DPS spread out for the remaining instruments. My advice is to have someone with plenty of survivability take the horn, as Evail hits quite hard too. Evail will also use an ability called Discordant Song, which your team should interrupt every time. Hips will use Drum Roll, which is an AoE that just needs healing through. Verethium will cast Infectious Solar. When he does this, make sure your group runs away from him. It's fairly obvious when he's doing this, as there's a circle around his feet. The last ability the rival band does is called Ripcord, which Vilt will occasionally do. This is a frontal cone and just needs sidestepping. After you've defeated the rival band, get back into position for the last instrument phase. The boss itself here is exactly the same as the normal difficulty. Now that the boss is down, we should go and see if we have any mail. The only difference with the postmaster is when unstable goods is used, when you pick up the luggage, you won't be able to move. This means that you need to throw the luggage between you and other players to get them into the air chutes. Remember, if no one catches the unstable goods and they hit the floor, they will explode, doing a lot of damage to the group. The easiest way we found was to actually ignore all mechanics and just nuke the boss as quickly as possible. The only exception to this is the player soak, where everyone should stand together. Pop hero right at the start and have everyone, including your healer, just go straight at the boss. If you don't have the damage for this, the best option is to have 2 people throw bags at a time to another 2 players, and have another one on standby. Do this until all the bags are gone and continue with the boss. Remember to soak the purple circles as well and heal through fan mail. The difference with the Menagerie is the bosses will come down at certain time frames of the fight. The second boss, the robot, will come down 25 seconds into the fight, and the goblin will come down 65 seconds into the fight. This means if you haven't killed the first boss in 25 seconds, there will be 2 bosses to fight at once. Likewise, if you haven't killed either of the first 2 bosses in 65 seconds, there will be all 3 to fight at the same time. This can make things very difficult. Remember, if you have the gluttonous debuff, you can collect the orbs without having a damage reduction, and in fact will get a damage increase instead. Also, run away from the goblin when she spins, she does a lot of damage. Healers should prioritise cleansing Purification Protocol on a melee player when possible, because then the melee can get back in the fight. Other than that, your fight's just a typical stay out of stuff, stay away from stuff fight, go go go. The one difference with Soazmi is double technique, the ability that required 2 interrupts, has been replaced by triple technique, which now requires 3 interrupts. What makes this fight so difficult is every time you interrupt him, he has a habit of teleporting to a different location in the map. keep in mind you only have 10 seconds to interrupt him all 3 times, as when you interrupt him the first time, the remaining time is what the next cast will be. If you fail to interrupt him, you may as well say goodbye to your butts and start again. Remember, for Shuri, it is important not to touch the edge of the circle as it expands. If you have an immunity, use it. If you have a teleport, use it. Of course, the easiest way is to use the teleports in the map itself, remembering circle will take you to the other circle, triangle to the other triangle, and square to the other square. Now for the pug killer, Hylbrande. It is a good idea to have each person assigned to one of the consoles. Have the player on the console behind the boss call out or type out the colour order that appears on screen. This applies to the top left, top right, bottom left, in that order. If you put the wrong rune inside the wrong console, the whole group will take a lot of damage. The difference on hard mode is there is a new ad called the Stormbound Breaker. You have to interrupt his lightning nova casts every time. If you don't, they will do a lot of damage to the group and the healer will not be happy. Kill this ad before you kill the other ads and then move back onto the boss. The rest of the fight is exactly the same, just remember if you have a yellow arrow on your head to run away. What did the ocean say to the pirate? Nothing, it just waved. The pirate dragon boss is the jankiest pirate to ever set sail on the 7 seas, however it's worth it for the loot. The only difference on hard mode is this boss will put down time slowing bubbles. These bubbles will slow you, which will stack the longer you are inside them, 15% per stack. You do not want to be inside these for very long, but once you are out of them, the stacks will disappear. Remember to stay away from the tail of the dragon or it will hook you. Stay away from the ads and let the tank deal with them by letting the boss's dragon breath kill them. Run away from the anchor if you have it on you. Also make sure to stay away from the fire zones as they can really hurt. Now for the last boss. If you didn't think this boss could get any worse, you were wrong. Unless your healer is an actual robot, I would suggest bringing a DPS that has a healer off spec, because you're going to need an extra healer for this fight. The reason for that is, Collapsing Star, an ability that already does an insane amount of damage, will now start to do more damage. This is because whoever runs into the Collapsing Star will get a debuff for the remainder of that Collapsing Star that increases their damage by 100% from it. This applies every single time they hit the star as it stacks. You also will not be able to let the last stack just run on, because then everybody will receive a stack of star vulnerability, the 100% damage debuff. To make this even worse, the first 2 times you run into the Collapsing Star, everybody will be sucked in for 2 to 3 seconds. The best thing to do is have the tank hit the first one, and melee DPS hit the second one as they'll already be near the tank. Have the remaining DPS hit the third one, and the fourth one have one of your healers hit. This allows the healers to continually cast and heal as they need to. The only other change is that all 5 of the relics need to be hit at once. If they are not all hit at once, they reset. This makes it a bit difficult if someone in your party dies, as now you have to try and adjust yourself to hit them all. When the boss uses Hyperlight Nova, usually a Collapsing Star will just have spawned. Try and make sure you hit it at least once before the Hyperlight Nova. We found if you haven't done this, you will not have time to hit it 4 times and someone in your party will likely die. The rest of the fight is the same. Avoid the missiles from the relics and kill the ads in the first phase as soon as you can, interrupting them when possible. I hope you enjoyed the quick guide into Tazavesh hard mode. If you did, please like and consider subscribing for more videos. Thank you for watching.